Hello dear students, in the previous session we were discussing about comma notation, right? So how we define comma notation? If I have a function phi is equal to phi of x comma y comma z, or phi of x1 comma x2 comma x3, this is nothing but I can write this as f of xi. So using comma notation, if you differentiate this is dou phi by dou xi. Using comma notation, I can write this as phi comma I, right? This is what our comma notation says. So now in the previous session we have solved some two problems. Now let's continue with the problem. We have to prove that xm xn ii comma ij is equal to delta im delta nj plus delta in delta mj plus xn delta mij plus xm delta nij. So we have to prove this identity now. Okay, using comma notation, if I consider the RHS LHS part, we have two suffixes, so it means it is a second order partial derivative, right? So dou square by dou xi dou xj, and the function is xm xn. So I can write this as dou by dou xi into dou by dou xj of xm xn. So now apply product rule of differentiation here. You will get dou by dou xi xm dou xn by dou xj plus xn dou xm by dou xj. So on multiplying, you will get xm into dou square xn by dou xj xi dou xj plus xn into xn into dou xm by dou xi dou xj. I can write it in this way, or I can do one more thing, that is differentiating these two terms with respect to xi, right? So if you differentiate these two terms with respect to I, you will get, if the thing is getting confused, don't write this step, just directly differentiate these two. So I have product of two terms, again I will use product rule of differentiation. I can write this as xm into dou square xn by dou xi dou xj plus dou xn by dou xj retain as it is. You will get dou xm by dou xi. So again xn into dou square xm by dou xi dou xj plus dou xn by dou xi into dou xm by dou xj. So now this is nothing but xm into xn comma ij, right? So here it is x m comma I and xn comma j plus xn xm comma ij plus xn comma I xm comma j. This is what you will get from this step. Now we have a relation. In the previous session we have seen that x m xn comma I is equal to rather using this relation, we can use the relation xi comma j is equal to delta ij. So using this relation, the step reduces to xm delta nij plus delta mi delta nj plus delta ni delta mj plus xn into delta mij. So this is what the required identity. right? So let's move to next one. We have to prove that xm xn comma ii is equal to 2 times of delta mn. Okay, so consider LHS part. You will get xm xn comma ii. Using common notation, I can write this as dou square x by dou xi square into xm xn. Use product rule of differentiation. You can write this as xm dou xn by dou xi plus xn dou xm by dou xi. So this is nothing but xm into dou square xn by dou xi square plus dou xn by dou xi into dou xm by dou xi plus xn into dou square xm by dou xi square plus dou xn by dou xi into dou xm by dou xi. Right, this is nothing but xm xn comma ii plus xm comma I xn comma I plus xn into xm comma ii plus xn comma I xm comma I. Use the same identity, so this will get reduces to xm delta nii. So from these two I can write this as 2 times of delta mi delta ni plus xn into delta mii, right? We have repeated suffixes, so these two terms will become 0. Use substitution property here. You will get 2 delta mn. So the final solution is 2 delta mn. This is the required identity to be proved. Right? Now let's move to the next one. Prove that epsilon I mn phi comma mn is equal to 0. So consider the LHS part. I can write this as, I'm just interchanging m and n, okay? So this will be epsilon I nm phi comma nm. These two are equal now, okay? So now if I change the suffixes, if it is in acyclic order, you will get minus sign, right? I can write this as minus epsilon of I mn phi comma mn. So here I have epsilon I mn phi comma mn. So this is nothing but epsilon I mn phi comma mn plus epsilon I mn phi comma mn is equal to 0. So this is 2 times of epsilon I mn phi comma mn is equal to 0. So we can write this as epsilon I mn phi comma mn is equal to 0. So now in the beginning of continuum mechanics classes, we were discussing the gradient divergence curl in a normal way, right? Just using a scalar vector like that. Here now from now onwards we will discuss the we will discuss the gradient curl and divergence using suffix notation, okay? So now as we know that I can write gradient of phi as dou phi by dou x1 E1 plus dou phi by dou x2 into E2 plus dou phi by dou x3 into E3. This is nothing but gradient of phi, right? This is normal. So now I will express this in a notation form, that is using scalar notation, comma notation, okay? So how can I write dou phi by dou x1? This is nothing but phi comma 1 E1 plus phi comma 2 E2 plus phi comma 3 E3. In general, we can write this as phi comma I ei. So this is nothing but gradient of scalar field in suffix notation. Okay. Now using this concept we will solve some problems. The first one is show that d phi is equal to del phi dot dr, vector dr. Okay. So what is d phi? D phi is nothing but dou phi by dou x1 dx1 plus dou phi by dou x2 into dx2 plus dou phi by dou x3 into dx3. This is how I can express d phi, right? So now we will write this in a comma notation form. Okay, so you will get phi comma 1 dx1 plus phi comma 2 dx2 plus phi comma 3 dx3. In general this is nothing but phi comma I dxi, right? So now this is my del phi. Now I have to find out dr. So dr is nothing but dx1 e1 plus dx2 e2 plus dx3 e3. This is how we represent dr, vector dr. Okay. So now del phi into dr or dot dr will be dou phi by dou x1 e1, this is del phi, plus dou phi by dou x2 into e2 plus dou phi by dou x3 into e3 into dx1 e1 plus dx2 e2 plus dx3 e3. dr is nothing but some unit vector. Okay, so since we had derivative here, I have considered in derivative form itself. So if I have just vector r, we can write that as x1 e1 plus x2 e2 plus x3 e3, right? So since I have derivative of vectors, I have written in that form itself. So now del phi dot dr will be, just consider the dot product of these three terms with these three terms. You will get dou phi by dou x1 into dx1 plus dou phi by dou x2 into dx2 plus dou phi by dou x3 into dx3. Using comma notation, this is nothing but phi comma 1 dx1 plus phi comma 2 dx2 plus phi comma 3 dx3. So as we have discussed in the beginning, what is this phi comma 1 dx1 plus phi comma 2 dx2 plus phi comma 3 dx3? This is nothing but d phi, right? So d phi. Now we had proved that del phi dot dr is equal to d phi. This is what the first vector identity says. Okay. So now let's see how we can express divergence using suffix notation. So gradient we considered on scalar field, whereas divergence is for vector field, right? So divergence of a vector function in suffix notation. So in order to explain this, first let us consider a vector function, say f. F is my vector function. So f will be of the form f1 e1 plus f2 e2 plus f3 e3, since it is a vector function, right? So now if you apply divergence to this, so you will get del dot f is equal to dou f1 by dou x1 plus dou f2 by dou x2 plus dou f3 by dou x3, right? This is nothing but using common notation f1 comma 1 plus f2 comma 2 plus f3 comma 3. In general we can write this as fi comma I. So similarly we can express curl of a vector function in suffix notation. That is nothing but, so how we will define curl? For that let us consider a vector function as f. This is my vector function. So therefore f will be of the form f1 e1 plus f2 e2 plus f3 e3. So curl of f means del cross f. So this is nothing but epsilon I j k f k comma j e j e I, right? So curl of f will be e1 e2 e3 dou by dou x1 dou by dou x2 dou by dou x3 f1 f2 f3. If you expand this determinant you will get it as e1 into dou f3 by dou x2 minus dou f2 by dou x3 minus e2 into dou f3 by dou x1 minus dou f1 by dou x3 plus e3 into dou f2 by dou x1 minus dou f1 by dou x2. So using common notation we can write this as e1 of f3 comma 2 minus f2 comma 3 minus e2 of f3 comma 1 minus f1 comma 3 plus e3 into f2 comma 1 minus f1 comma 2. Call this as equation number 1. In general we can write this as epsilon I j k f k comma j e I, or this is nothing but epsilon I j k summation dou f k by dou x j into e I. So here we will give the values for our epsilons, right? So if I give values to my I j k, I should get my equation 1. Then only I can say that this is the right form of writing curl of f. So let's verify that first. If I consider I is equal to 1, summation j is equal to 1 to 3, summation k is equal to 1 to 3, epsilon 1 j k dou f k by dou x j into e1, right? So expand this along j, you will get this as summation k is equal to 1 to 3 into epsilon 1 1 k dou f k by dou x1 e1 plus epsilon 1 2 k dou f k by dou x2 e1 plus epsilon 1 3 k dou f k by dou x3 into e1. So now I have to express each terms with respect to k. So you will get epsilon 1 1 1 dou f1 by dou x1 e1 plus epsilon 1 1 2 dou f2 by dou x1 into e1 plus epsilon 1 1 3 dou f3 by dou x1 e1 plus epsilon 1 2 1 dou f1 by dou x2 into e1 plus epsilon 1 2 2 dou f2 by dou x2 into e1 plus epsilon 1 2 3 dou f3 by dou x2 into e1 plus epsilon 1 3 1 dou f1 by dou x3 into e1 plus epsilon 1 3 2 dou f2 by dou x3 plus epsilon 1 3 3 dou f3 by dou x3 into e1. Now use the epsilon ijk definition. From that this will be 0, this is 0, 0, 0, you will get this as 0 and this term as 0 as well as this term as 0. You will left out with this is 1 and this is minus 1, right? Because one is cyclic order and another one is in acyclic order. So you will get dou f3 by dou x2 E1 minus dou F2 by dou X3 into E1. So this is nothing but F3 comma 2 minus F2 comma 3 into E1. In the similar way, you have to find out when I is equal to 2. Okay, so summation j is equal to 1 to 3, summation k is equal to 1 to 3, epsilon 2 jk dou fk by dou xj into E2. If you follow the same procedure, for this you will get f1 comma 3 minus f3 comma 1 into E2. Call this as equation number 2 and this as equation number 3. When I is equal to 3, you will get the final solution as f2 comma 1 minus f1 comma 2 into E3. I will call this as equation number 4. Now this all are from RHS, right? So RHS is equal to f3 comma 2 minus f2 comma 3 into E1 plus f1 comma 3 minus f3 comma 1 into E2 plus f2 comma 1 minus f1 comma 2 into E3. Okay, so this is nothing but f3 comma 2 minus f2 comma 3 E1 minus f3 comma 1 minus f1 comma 3 into E2 plus f2 comma 1 minus f1 comma 2 into E3. I will call this as equation number 5. Now you can check your equation number 5 is equal to your equation number 1, right? So therefore LHS is equal to RHS. So we can say that del cross F is equal to epsilon ijk fk comma jei, or it is equal to E1 f3 comma 2 minus f2 comma 3 minus E2 f3 comma 1 minus f1 comma 3 plus E3 into f2 comma 1 minus f1 comma 2. Okay. Now let's solve some problems based on divergence, gradient and curl. These all are very important vector identities which you will use in your fluid mechanics as well as in your magnetohydrodynamics. Okay. So divergence of del phi is equal to del square phi. We have to prove that divergence of del phi is equal to del square phi. Consider the LHS part. We have divergence of del phi. So this is nothing but divergence of, I can write del phi in a common notation as phi comma I into EI. So this is nothing but divergence of dou phi by dou x1 E1 plus dou phi by dou x2 into E2 plus dou phi by dou x3 into E3. So del phi means it is a partial derivative, right? So now I can write this whole thing as dou square phi by dou x1 square plus dou square phi by dou x2 square plus dou square phi by dou x3 square. This is nothing but del square phi. So divergence of del phi is equal to del square phi. Okay. The next problem is we have to prove divergence of phi f is equal to phi into divergence of f plus del phi dot vector f. So consider the LHS part again. This is nothing but divergence of phi fi ei, right? So this is vector function. So vector function we will write it as f1 e1 plus f2 e2 plus f3 e3. In general, using suffix notation I can write fi ei. This is nothing but divergence of ai ei, because phi fi gives you some other vector function. I will consider that as ai. So you will get ai ei. Okay. So divergence of ai ei is nothing but ai comma I, right? So this will be, just retain the value of a as it is. You will get phi fi comma I. So now if you write this in this form, phi into dou fi by dou xi plus dou phi by dou xi into fi, right? This is product of two functions, so you can represent in this way. Now this is phi as it is. Dou fi by dou xi is nothing but fi comma I plus this is phi comma I, this is fi as it is. So now phi fi comma I means divergence of f plus phi comma I is gradient of f dot f as it is. So this is nothing but my RHS part. We will solve some more problems in the next session. Okay, thank you.